Your team's not inspired because you're lazy. Teams cannot be inspired by somebody that's not willing to put in the work or hasn't done it. But there are some ways that you can inspire your team. So if right now you're struggling and your team doesn't seem inspired and you're reading all these books, and you're asking all these questions, and you're showing up to your meetings, and it doesn't seem like anybody has a little oomph, it's on you. You, the leader, has to be the inspiration for that team. So let's go over a few things that I believe that will help you inspire your team. Number one, you've got to set the example. What does it mean by setting the example? And this isn't just showing up. You've got to be able to do the things that you are asking your people to do. So if you're the head of the sales and you're asking your team to make 200 phone calls a day and you aren't willing to do it, you can't inspire your people to do it. If you get on a call with somebody and you can't close that call, you aren't inspiring your people. If you don't show up on time for a meeting, or if you aren't focused, or you aren't even dressed the way you need to, or look the way you need to, you are not inspiring your team. You have to set the example. And you not only have to set the example, you got to set the bar higher than any person on that team. Because when the bar is set to a point where you almost can't get there, that's when you start inspiring people. So it starts with you. The second is be the coach every day. You can't expect to be able to tell somebody to go out and do something if you aren't there with them every day to inspire and push them to make sure they're doing it in the right way. And a lot of people go, that's micromanaging. It's not micromanaging. It's called caring. It's about love. If you're invested in them enough and you want to inspire somebody to be great, you're going to show them what greatness takes. And that greatness every day, if you show up for them, they're going to believe. They're going to believe in what you're saying. They're going to believe in what you expect of them, and you're going to inspire them to be great. Or what you're going to find out is they're just simply not the right person. So if you coach daily, and then you coach weekly and monthly, because most leaders give goals that are weekly or monthly goals, and sometimes even quarterly. I don't even know how those teams work. But if you invest time daily, they know that they've got to show up, and you can inspire them. Inspire them to be someone bigger, better, and have more success than they ever imagined, because you're willing to put in the effort and the time with them. The next is have those clear expectations. So if we're going to be coaching them on a daily, weekly, and a monthly basis, let's tell them what our expectations of them every single day. And you got to be detailed, because you think they know what you expect, but you got to tell them, hey, you got to have a clean shave. You got to have your hair done like this. You got to have your clothes looking like this. This is how you have to speak. This is how we call. These are the things that we say. And then ultimately, when we're outside of the office, this is how we treat our customers. So you have to set expectations. And guess what? Once again, we go back to number one. You got to set the example. Because when you go on that meeting with that person that you're setting the example for and you don't follow your own standards, guess what? It all goes right out the window. So set the expectations. And you got to be the example. You got to be doing every single one of those expectations and setting the example for them. The second, call people out. I always say that when you want to criticize in private and you want to praise in public. Well, criticizing is different than when somebody is not doing the work. And this works in sales in a really big way, is when you're in a group, have the numbers up on a board. Rank them just like you did if you were a track star or anything. Rank them. Who's number 1? Who's number 10? And you can call out, hey, what's number 1 doing that number 10 isn't? And guess what? That's going to give them a little kick in the butt. So call it out. Call it out when they're not making their numbers. Call it out when they're not doing the right things. If they come in, they look sloppy, tell them to get out. Tell them to go change. Say, not in this place. So when you start driving that type of culture, what happens is when somebody comes in that's unwilling to be able to fit that mold and those expectations, the team will kick them out all by themselves. And then they will become part of this team, part of this, the team that we used to have on the field or the court that work together, not against each other. And the last one is to really motivate and believe in them. You got to motivate these people, because there's times that people don't come into a job motivated. They're coming in to make money and they want to be told what to do. You got to motivate them and tell them that they can do more. And you got to let them understand that you believe. You believe that they can do things that they had no clue were possible. And that's the greatest thing about being a leader, being a coach, and just being accountable, having somebody that's accountable to you. That if you believe in them and they realize that they can do things that they've never been able to do before, you're a leader that they'll never forget. This is on you. You got to celebrate the wins, because it's hard being a leader and there's always that next day. But you got to realize you got to have fun. You got to celebrate the wins, and you got to throw some high fives, ring the bell, do something fun, because if it's always a grind and it's always we're not meeting the expectations, or when we do meet the expectations, we don't even stop and have a beer, have a high five, do something fun, get some recognition. All of a sudden, climbing that hill, you're not inspired to get to the top, and you're not inspired to be able to fight for that person because you never feel like it's good enough. So make sure that you're always celebrating the wins.